I said no. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like it was a misquote because see, if I was the editor-in-chief over there at People, I would have corrected Kandi for her. What led to the breakdown of the divorce wasn't because he was courting women behind your back. It's because he was courting women without you.
Listen carefully, because what just emerged has shattered every assumption people held. Tasha K didn't hint at it, she detonated it. A revelation so explosive it sent tremors through Hollywood, leaving even the most hardened insiders speechless. The unraveling of Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker's marriage wasn't just about distance or fading love. It was far darker, buried under years of denial and secrecy. Whispers now surfacing claim the collapse traced back to a connection no one was meant to question. Behind closed doors, Kandi's daughter Riley Burruss reportedly grew unusually close to her stepfather. What outsiders dismissed as innocent family time allegedly turned into interactions that crossed invisible lines, with Todd's attention reportedly intensifying in ways that unnerved everyone. Those quiet moments, once overlooked, escalated into tension that no one dared name. Sources suggest boundaries blurred, red flags went unheeded, and discomfort was hidden behind a facade of normalcy. When Kandi finally confronted the signs, the realization hit like a devastating blow. The truth wasn't merely uncomfortable, it was shattering. Imagine discovering messages never intended for your eyes. Hidden conversations and patterns impossible to ignore. Insiders say there were explosive texts, secret exchanges, and concealed evidence exposing a reality Kandi never imagined lurking in her own home. This wasn't simple betrayal. It was an emotional cataclysm, tearing through trust, loyalty, and the very foundation of the marriage. Now, with cameras rolling, Tasha K is alleged to have ripped the veil away completely. Every hushed suspicion, every buried fear, every dark implication is exposed, revealing deception, forbidden closeness, and a family unraveling before the world. Viewers are struggling to absorb it all. The claims are intense, the emotions are raw, and the impact feels irreversible. This wasn't a quiet breakup, it was a collapse driven by secrets no family should ever face. The story is out, the silence is gone, and nothing about Kandi, Todd, or Riley will ever be seen the same way. Brace yourself, this isn't the finale. It's the first chapter of a scandal already leaving audiences stunned, shaken, and unable to look away.
You were jealous, and a lot of women that do end up, and I know them. They bring people into their bedrooms because it's like they unintentionally but intentionally want to be the cool kid in school. They want to have the cool marriage. They want they boys to be able to say, my wife cool, she let me go to women.
Hold on tight, because what's about to unravel isn't just another celebrity breakup. It's a psychological freefall that shook even the most hardened insiders. Hollywood has weathered bitter divorces, secret affairs, and public implosions, but nothing prepared anyone for the disturbing chain reaction behind Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker's split. What insiders describe isn't a marriage that merely failed. It's a world where loyalty cracked, silence protected the wrong things, and family boundaries were pushed into uncharted territory. Behind the carefully curated image, sources allege a hidden dynamic quietly emerged inside the household. Riley Burruss, Kandi's daughter, reportedly became emotionally entangled in a private bond with her stepfather, a connection that deepened in secrecy. What began as seemingly innocent familiarity allegedly morphed into something far heavier, more charged, impossible to ignore, the kind of closeness that unsettles everyone around but leaves them unsure when to speak. According to those close to the family, Riley's time with Todd reportedly increased, and the tone of their interactions changed. These weren't casual check-ins or simple conversations. Todd's responses allegedly triggered subtle alarms at first, then grew impossible to ignore. Kandi, known for fiercely guarding her family, reportedly began sensing that something was dangerously wrong. And then came the moment everything imploded. Messages, private conversations, and hidden exchanges allegedly revealed lines being crossed that no child or step-parent should ever approach. What followed was described as explosive. Kandi, blindsided and emotionally overwhelmed, confronted a reality she never imagined existing under her own roof. Insiders say the fallout was immediate and brutal. Tears, rage, disbelief, and betrayal that cut far deeper than any rumor or tabloid headline could. This was no longer gossip. It was personal devastation. Sources claim Kandi's world shattered when she uncovered the full scope of the secret communications. The messages didn't merely suggest tension, they painted a portrait of emotional betrayal, far beyond ordinary marital conflict. Trust disintegrated. The foundation of the marriage cracked irreparably. Confronted with what she allegedly saw, Kandi made a choice no parent wants to make, separating Riley from Todd and initiating divorce proceedings that would officially end what once seemed a stable union. Behind the scenes, the emotional toll was immense. Friends reportedly witnessed sleepless nights, panic, and a woman questioning every instinct she had once trusted. Allegedly, Riley's actions weren't malicious, but born of confusion, blurred boundaries, and poor judgment. Yet, the damage was permanent. Todd's failure to decisively stop the closeness added another layer of betrayal, making any possibility of healing nearly impossible. As whispers morphed into speculation, secrecy only intensified the fire. Then Tasha K intervened, investigating private sources, confidential material, and accounts never intended to see the light of day. Her reporting allegedly uncovered documentation, hidden messages, and patterns that shocked even longtime family friends. The exposure was swift and merciless, transforming private anguish into a public spectacle overnight. The aftermath reverberated through everyone involved. Kandi faced the crushing duality of public scrutiny and private heartbreak while trying to shield her children. Todd, reportedly blindsided by the magnitude of the allegations and attention, was forced into immediate damage control. Riley, trapped at the eye of the storm, allegedly battled guilt, emotional turmoil, and the crushing weight of public judgment. This wasn't simple family drama, it was an emotional cataclysm leaving scars that would last. Insiders claim the breaking point came when Kandi reviewed the evidence in its entirety. Allegedly, the messages confirmed boundary crossings so severe that reconciliation became impossible. The realization that trust had been shattered in the most intimate way demanded immediate action. Protecting her family meant walking away, no matter the heartbreak. Once Tasha K's revelations went public, the reaction was instantaneous. Social media erupted. Fans swung between disbelief, outrage, and sympathy. Many insisted the evidence left little doubt that the alleged closeness between Riley and Todd had driven the marriage's collapse. Hollywood noticed. Perceptions shifted overnight. Even after the divorce filing, the emotional fallout reportedly continued. Family bonds strained. Trust remained fractured. Kandi's struggle to maintain stability under relentless scrutiny intensified the emotional toll. What began as a private disaster transformed into one of the year's most talked about controversies. At its core, this wasn't just scandal, it was tragedy. A story of trust betrayed, roles blurred, and silence preserved too long. Every hidden message, every ignored warning, every private moment contributed to a narrative that stunned millions. And as Tasha K pulled back the curtain, the world was forced to confront the devastating consequences of secrets left to fester. This story isn't over. Insiders say the emotional wreckage will linger long after the headlines fade. The divorce may be official, but the wounds and questions remain open. What seemed like a shocking headline was merely the opening scene of a saga of betrayal, heartbreak, and chaos that continues to haunt all involved. The shockwaves from the revelations didn't fade, they intensified, rippling through every corner of Kandi's life in ways no one anticipated. The divorce filing formalized the split, but barely scratched the surface of the turmoil behind closed doors. Privately, the emotional devastation deepened as Kandi faced the brutal collapse of trust and the terrifying realization that her family's crisis ran far deeper than anyone had imagined. Those close to the situation say that with every new detail revealed, the emotional heat rose, exposing a tangled web of secrecy, misjudgments, and decisions that left everyone reeling. Riley, according to people familiar with the aftermath, was left carrying the weight of her choices. Guilt, confusion, and isolation reportedly followed her everywhere as the consequences of her alleged closeness with Todd became impossible to ignore. Friends described her oscillating between fear of public judgment and a desperate wish to undo the past. Meanwhile, Todd found himself under relentless scrutiny, insiders claiming the scale of the exposure caught him completely off guard. Alleged missteps on both sides collided, sparking a storm of controversy that spilled far beyond the family home. For Kandi, the anguish was magnified by non-stop public attention. Commentary flooded in from every direction. Speculation became inescapable. Sources say the combined burden of believing her daughter crossed lines and feeling betrayed by the man she trusted led to sleepless nights and moments of crushing despair. Every interaction carried weight. Every conversation trembled with tension as the family crisis refused to stay private, instead playing out under an unforgiving spotlight. At the heart of it all were the alleged messages, private texts, hidden exchanges, and communications never meant to be seen. Insiders claimed these records exposed a disturbing look at how far boundaries had been pushed, revealing intentions, responses, and emotional complexities that blindsided everyone. Each new disclosure seemed to deepen the shock, reinforcing a web of secrecy and emotional betrayal that left observers struggling to fathom how it had all come to this. Those closest to the family described the fallout as relentless and exhausting. Kandi, they say, fought to hold together what remained of her family while projecting strength amid the chaos. Riley, meanwhile, reportedly retreated under the weight of judgment, isolated by consequences she could no longer escape. Todd, despite efforts to manage the fallout, faced growing regret and confusion as public scrutiny reshaped perceptions of him. By that point, the shadow cast by the scandal had stretched too long to outrun. As the story spread, rumors multiplied across social platforms. Fans dissected every detail, every word, every screenshot. Tasha K's reporting fanned the flames as insiders, hidden sources, and never-before-heard accounts surfaced. Each revelation landed harder than the last, pulling viewers deeper into the unraveling family dynamics, leaving audiences horrified yet unable to look away. The fallout didn't remain confined to the household. Allegedly, friendships fractured, business relationships strained, and extended family members were drawn into the chaos. Loyalties were tested, trust shattered, and once solid relationships began crumbling under the weight of exposure. Insiders described the atmosphere as suffocating, with no clear path back to normalcy. Kandi's decision to move forward with the divorce marked a turning point. Those close to her insist the evidence she uncovered left no other choice. Between her daughter's alleged actions and Todd's responses, she reportedly had to prioritize her own emotional survival and the well-being of her children. Making these choices under the glare of public scrutiny only magnified the pain, turning private grief into a public spectacle. The scandal quickly expanded beyond the family, drawing commentators, fans, and Hollywood insiders eager to analyze every moment. The reporting didn't merely present allegations, it exposed the emotional devastation left in its wake. Each detail intensified fascination and disbelief, transforming a private rupture into a cultural phenomenon with lasting consequences. Even after legal steps were taken, the tension reportedly remained. Attempts to restore trust or find closure met resistance and reopened old wounds. Every interaction carried the weight of the past. For Kandi, daily life became a tightrope walk between protecting her children and surviving relentless public attention. Reaction from the public was intense. Sympathy collided with outrage as debates raged online. Viral threads multiplied, and every new revelation reignited discussion. The combination of secret communications, emotional betrayal, and exposure cemented this as one of the most talked about celebrity crises in recent memory. The impact continues to echo. Kandi, according to sources, remains focused on shielding her children and rebuilding stability. Riley carries the burden of public judgment and personal remorse. Todd faces ongoing consequences tied to alleged misjudgments and unrelenting scrutiny. The emotional scars, insiders say, run deep and enduring. And this story didn't end with paperwork or headlines. Unresolved tension, lingering pain, and fractured relationships reportedly continued to dominate daily life. What surfaced only hinted at the true depth of what had occurred, offering a glimpse into a profoundly personal collapse no outsider was meant to witness. Insiders insist the saga is far from over. The heartbreak, public fascination, and unanswered questions persist, keeping audiences riveted. Every exposed secret and emotional reaction underscores the power of a story rooted in broken trust and hidden truths. Long after the filings, attention remains, wounds are still raw, and a narrative defined by resilience, reckoning, and consequence continues to unfold. What began as a private conflict has become a lasting emblem of how quickly secrecy can erupt into scandal. At its core, this is a story of boundaries crossed and trust destroyed. Every hidden message and revealed exchange adds weight to a saga that has reshaped lives and perceptions forever. The fallout ensures this chapter of celebrity history will be remembered not just for shock value, but for the devastating human cost behind it. As new details continue to surface, the grip tightens. The heartbreak, exposure, and unanswered questions keep audiences watching, haunted by a story that refuses to fade, and a family forever changed by secrets brought into the light. The curtain has finally been pulled back. What has been revealed has left the industry reeling. Kandi Burruss, Riley Burruss, and Todd Tucker now stand at the center of a storm defined by betrayal, emotional devastation, and a scandal no one anticipated. The hidden conversations, concealed moments, and alleged closeness that crossed lines have sent shockwaves through Hollywood and left fans stunned. This was never merely about a marriage ending. It was trust collapsing, bonds breaking, and a family forced to endure its darkest chapter in full public view. What you've seen so far is only the surface. Those close to the situation say the fallout is still unfolding, cutting ever deeper with time. Kandi's pain reportedly runs far beyond what cameras can capture. Riley is said to be trapped in a cycle of guilt and confusion, and Todd's name now carries a weight that may follow him indefinitely. Allegedly, each hidden message and quiet exchange stacked together until the entire structure imploded, turning a private family crisis into a spectacle the world couldn't look away from. Fans are left questioning where loyalty ends, where boundaries failed, and whether trust can survive under fame. And this chapter isn't over. Insiders believe the emotional damage will echo for years, reshaping relationships and decisions long after the headlines fade. Tasha K may have exposed what was hidden, but the consequences are painfully real, raw, tragic, and impossible to undo. With every revelation, tension intensified, pulling audiences deeper into a story that is as disturbing as it is magnetic. This isn't gossip, it's a warning. A reminder that secrecy corrodes, betrayal destroys, and even the most polished public images can conceal chaos beneath the surface. Kandi, Riley, and Todd now live inside the aftermath. Proof that no family, no matter how admired, is immune to collapse. Stay locked in, because while the truth is out, the repercussions are only beginning. This saga isn't fading anytime soon, and what comes next may be even darker, more painful, and more unforgettable than anything revealed so far. Don't look away. This is the kind of story that lingers, already rewriting how Hollywood will remember them forever.